It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 11th day of January 2020. And double checking here. I'm trying to track and see about Facebook. I know that I've been live because we had Tom, one of our friends from over in Richmond, and that we play around with some on Traveling with Bruce. Tom has been watching us on Facebook and has left comments a couple times, and the comments for some reason aren't coming through on Facebook. But anyway, I've still got technical issues. Why does that not surprise anybody? But always have technical issues. I would suggest a new feature. Oh, I see it's doing some, telling me to do something there. Anyway, so much for that. I'm not going to be able to double check it again this morning because I'm not sure what I need to have set up so I can follow the comments that come through from Facebook. Anyway, let's get on to the business at hand. We've got a bunch of typical Saturday, a whole bunch of smaller stories than some of the major stories we've been dealing with for a while. But the first one, again, of course, my lead story again is from Puerto Rico. Yesterday, a magnitude 5.2 aftershock hit southern Puerto Rico's southern coast on Friday afternoon, which is days after the earthquake shook the island and left much of it without power. The aftershock came as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is making aid available and assisting with the damage assessment after the quake rocked the island before dawn on Tuesday. This is the one that just floored me, folks. It was one of 500 earthquakes of magnitude 2.0 or greater that have rattled the island since December 28th, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Of course, the quakes have left one dead and dozens of homes and structures ruined and lots of cars smashed. And at one point, 80% of the island without power. And then yesterday, a 5.2 magnitude aftershock. And I'm sorry, folks, but that's a hell of an aftershock. Holy cow. Anyway, before this aftershock yesterday, they had gotten approximately 80% of the power back on. You know, our lead story the other day was that most of the island was still without power. They had gotten 80% of the power back on and then had this 5.2 aftershock yesterday. Well, it took out the power again. However, the power company they still are saying that by end of business today, this is, of course, Saturday, by end of business today, they'll have the power restored to the 1.4 million utility customers across the island. So they're hoping everyone will have power by tonight. So that's the lead story. Those poor people in Puerto Rico, my goodness, they have just had one thing right after another. You know, you go back to the Hurricane Maria in 2017, which just started the whole thing. And then you had all the political turmoil and government governors getting in trouble and the staff getting indicted and resigning, and a new governor comes in, and it's just been a mess, just a total mess. But anyway, that's going on right now in Puerto Rico. Another boomer of it, and they're saying there's still a possibility of another massive quake over and above this 5.2 aftershock yesterday. So, wow, had 500 of them since, what's that, 10 days? Let's see, 11, 13, in 2 weeks. 500 earthquakes of 2.0 or greater on Puerto Rico. Unbelievable. So I feel for those poor folks over there. That's just awful. All right, quick little commercial message. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scoot-Around. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scoot-Around for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise. I just realized yesterday that I still haven't gotten my cabin assignment for Holland America yet. So I got to let the Scoot-Around people know, so my scooter will be waiting for me. So I'm going to have to contact them and see when they're actually assigning cabins, if they haven't signed it yet. So I can let them know, and my scooter will be in my cabin waiting for me. The Carnival, the second cruise on the back end of the double dip, that's already taken care of, and they've got the cabin number and all that business. So let's see who we got here this morning. Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you again. As always, yes, Bonnie has actually met Tom Henry and his wife, Cindy. Tom Henry's just a fabulous guy. We are talking his next cruise that he's going on. We're going to attempt to do a live broadcast from on board with Tom. So that'll be fun. So keep and watch for that. And Bonnie says that Haiti never recovered from their earthquake 10 years ago. Now that's true too. And I'm afraid that we're going to have a similar situation with Puerto Rico, because they've never gotten all the money that was supposed to come to them from the hurricane recovery. So you get it. Hold on, folks. I'm not making any political statements. No, I'm not going there. But the fact is, they didn't get all the money they were supposed to get way back when. And it's still causing problems over there now. I do know my nephew's in the insurance business, and he spent a lot of time over there after Maria, and has been back several times since then on the insurance business. Okay, so moving right along, because we got several other things to cover this morning. Again, my thoughts are with you guys in Puerto Rico. Goodness knows that's been a tough one. All right, a couple little quick stories. The Carnival Valor is going to be operating 2 15-day transatlantic crossings next year. One departing January 25th from New Orleans to Barcelona, and the other departing February 26th from Barcelona back to New Orleans. So if you've ever wanted to do a transatlantic cruise, that might be one to take a look at in 2021 on the Carnival Valor. It will have some stops along the way. Cartagena, Malaga in Spain, Funchal is Madeira Islands, St. Martin, and San Juan. So that's going on over there in New Orleans. If you've never done a cruise out of New Orleans, you need to do one, just at least one. I love sailing out of New Orleans. I really do. That's a great place to go and spend a day or two ahead of time. It's just awesome. I love New Orleans. Well, New Orleans is a fun town. Seeing if I'm looking down here at my tablet to see if it shows the live broadcast, and it does not on Facebook. So for some reason that's not showing. I don't know why. But moving on to the next story, has to do with Holland America. You know, we talked about Liberty of the Seas canceling some cruises because of extending their dry dock. For the Liberty of the Seas, they canceled 4 or 5 cruises. I don't remember now. It was a couple days ago. Well, Holland American has just canceled a cruise for the Nieuw Amsterdam due to azi-pods. You know, we said how long ago we said we didn't know what azi-pods was until this last 12 months, and we've had a dozen story about azi-pods. That's the propulsion issue on modern cruise ships, and everybody seems to be having problems at some point in time with azi-pods. But anyway, the Holland America ship, the Nieuw Amsterdam, has recently been hit with propulsion issues. And the cruise line has taken the ship out of service for just one sailing on February the 1st, which is a departure out of Fort Lauderdale. And they're going to hightail it over to the Grand Bahama Shipyard in Freeport and get the azi-pods repaired. And then they'll be back for their February 8th sailing. The interesting thing about that is a number of the people that were scheduled on that cruise have been moved over to the Zuiderdam with me, because that's the cruise I'm going to be on. Maybe that's why the cabins aren't assigned yet, because they got a bunch of changes coming with these folks coming in. That's a possibility too. But anyway, because I'm in a group of folks that are going to be on the Zuiderdam, and so some new people have been popping and say, we're supposed to be on a Nieuw Amsterdam. We just got moved to the Zuiderdam. Some were happy, some were not happy. But the cruise is a cruise. I'm sorry. We're going to make the Zuiderdam a good cruise no matter what. And I understand the food on the Zuiderdam is fabulous. Of course, the food on the Nieuw Amsterdam is fabulous too. That seems to be Holland America's main thing is their food. So I'm going to find out and report back on that one. The guests that were booked on the Nieuw Amsterdam are getting 100% future cruise credit for switching. I'd do that in a heartbeat. So Holland America's, they're doing the right thing, taking care of the people, and they're going on to going on the Zuiderdam. So any of you folks that are out there might be watching this broadcast that are going to be on the Zuiderdam, look up the old fat guy. You'll find him all over the place. I'll be all over the ship, top to bottom, with my trusty little phone camera taking films and pictures, and I might have an adult beverage in my hand. I'll be on my little scooter, riding my scooter around. Okay. Another brief, if you want to call it a commercial break, I've talked about the representing Viator on excursions. My project on getting my website propagated with the excursion stuff, I'm probably 45% done. I have hundreds of pages that information's got to go on each page. So I've been working steadily at it. And if you check into my website, the way I have it laid up, you look for cruises from a port city. You can look for cruises by the ship, by the number of ways, and it gives you a base cruise with the prices and all that business and all kinds of information down below, including the ports of call. And that's where I'm propagating in information about excursions, so that if you're interested in a cruise that goes to Nassau, and you can click right there and get all the excursions that are available in Nassau at a decent savings. And that's from Viator, and I represent them. And yes, I make a few pennies if you end up booking it using that little code down there. If you look down here at the bottom, where's my finger? Down there, that 81039, that's the fat guy. I said that's how the fat guy gets credit, is using that little number. And anyway, on the links and stuff, it's automatic. But you can go straight to the Viator. That'll bring you up the Viator search engine, and you put in your destination anywhere in the world. And if they have excursions, they're going to pop up. So good folks. I've used them in the past. I'm tickled pink to be representing them, and I will continue on with getting my my website propagated. Of course, my website changes all the time. I'm constantly adding new cruises, and when cruises end up and taking them away, and have showed all the dates that, because some cruises might have 100 dates for the same itinerary, but all that's on the website. So there's a lot of information here. So anyway, that's another commercial message. That's commercial message number 2 for today. And let's see, I got to turn that off and go back over here. So I'm ready for my next story. You know me and these technical issues, especially at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll tell you, folks, I woke up this morning with a hangover. I mean, to tell you, a hangover from hell, excuse my French. Only I didn't have anything to drink last night. That's awful. Not a drop. We went to a barbecue joint for dinner last night, and they don't even have a liquor license. So, I mean, I don't even have beer or anything. I mean, this was pure food and nothing else. So I had not a drop of alcohol, but woke up with a hell of a hangover this morning. So I started chugging my coffee. Okay, moving right along. Some of you probably heard that Empress of the Sea ran into some problems this week. They had a scheduled call at Virgin Gorda in the British Virgin Islands. And they started some folks off on tenders because it was beautiful blue skies, but some winds came up as the first bunch of people on the tender. And according to a passenger who got in touch through one of the websites, it said the early stages of tendering, one of the boats hit a reef while trying to get to the dock, and only 2 tenders apparently made it to the island when it was decided that the tender operations were just too dangerous. So they scurried around and got all the people that had landed on Virgin Gorda and got them back on the boat, and went on, did not allow anybody else to go on shore at Virgin Gorda. Now, Virgin Gorda is a reasonably new and smaller itinerary stop destination in the British Virgin Islands. Most of the time, the ships go into Tortola, which happens to be probably my favorite port in the Caribbean. I love Tortola. There's a couple bars to Tortola stop that are 2 of my favorite bars in the world, but we won't go there. That's a whole nother matter. But there's some fun bars in Tortola. So the folks on the Empress of the Seas, they got back on the boat, and the captain got on there and says, "Okay, since we couldn't go in there today, we're going to go to Tortola, and we'll be there by noon. It's only, 35 kilometers away, or I don't know, whatever the hell that means. It's not very far." So they went into Tortola. They had room for that's a small ship. So they had room for the Empress of the Seas to go in there. And everybody got off at noon in Tortola and stayed until 7 o'clock. So they ended up in Tortola instead of the Virgin Gorda. Not a bad deal. And I don't know if they're gotten any credits or not. I'm sure they're getting something. I think it's a free bottle of wine and an apology from the cruise line. Okay. So, I mean, they didn't lose anything. It's just a little different. And folks, if you're reasonably new to cruises, I mean, we kind of make fun of this all the time. Stuff happens. The cruise lines can't control that. They can't control the wind and being dangerous for people to go ashore. So they make the best of the bad situation. My hat's off to them. I found out a long time ago. Boy, you got to go with the flow sometimes, people. Don't just fuss to be fussing. Try to enjoy yourself no matter what the circumstances are. That's my tip for cruising. All right, quickly, let's look over here. See, Bonnie's never visits my website. Well, Bonnie, you need to do that. And Bonnie says, I am live on Facebook too. Okay. I just haven't figured out what I can set up here so I can check it and watch it and see the comments and stuff that are on there. So we are live on Facebook, so that's good to know. I just have to come up with the right technical stuff. And Bonnie says Zuiderdam is a great ship. She's been on it. Again, this is my first Holland America cruise, and I booked it solely because of pictures. One of my people that's been on a matter of fact, he's on one right now, on a Holland America cruise, and the pictures he has of the food are fabulous in the main dining room. It's not special. He goes to Canaletto some, but most of the time it's main dining room, and the food looks fabulous. So that's why I booked it to start with. All right, couple other things to cover this morning. Goop. I never thought I'd be talking about Goop live on YouTube and Facebook, but today we're talking about Goop. Goop is a modern lifestyle brand founded and helmed by Gwyneth Paltrow, and it was announced yesterday that she and Goop are partnering with Celebrity Cruises to create the first Goop at Sea experience, which will take place on the Celebrity Apex from August 26th through September 6, 2020. And folks, I realize I live in a cave. Yeah, I know who Gwyneth Paltrow is. I never heard of Goop. Don't have any idea what Goop is. But anyway, there are going to be 11-night wellness cruise through the Mediterranean. And they're going to host an onboard experience for the retreat goers, according to a press release. Guests will have the opportunity to meet Gwyneth Paltrow, Elise Lohan, and their healers, and will join a conversation between Paltrow and Lohan. 3 smaller group sessions led by an expert talent, one for the body, one for the mind, and one for the soul, and a closing keynote. And there's a rather significant cost to it, but if you're into that kind of thing, Gwyneth Paltrow will be on the Celebrity Apex. Not putting that on my bucket list, but that's just me. The other thing this morning, we end up with these just horrible stories with weather related and natural cause related. Mexico's most active volcano erupted yesterday. Excuse me. And spewed an ash cloud of 20,000 feet in the air. Officials say it's at a threat yellow phase 2. I have no idea what that means. And warning people to stay away from the volcano and its crater due to the danger of falling ballistic fragments. That sounds a little scary. Mexico's Popocatépetl, I hope I said that right. I'm not going to try it again. Volcano burst into life on Thursday in a spectacular gush of lava and clouds of ash that hurled incandescent rock 20,000 feet into the sky. The dramatic explosion of the active stratovolcano. I'm not sure what stratovolcano is as opposed to a non-stratovolcano. Again, folks, I'm not very technical. It's a little over 40 miles southeast of Mexico City. It was captured on video by the Mexico's National Center for Disaster Prevention. Officials said no one was hurt as a result. I think they had some advance warning that this was going to happen. A satellite recorded the explosion, so I'm sure the scientists are just ecstatic over that because they got all kinds of stuff to study now. And the locals call it El Popo. That's why I probably slid over the real name Popocatépetl. But anyway, El Popo erupted twice in July this past year, and now has come forth again with some more stuff. So another volcanic explosion, at least. Thank goodness this wasn't like a bad one like the one we had in New Zealand a month ago now. By the way, my niece will be home on Thursday of this week coming up, and I will be more than happy to give the keys to the pet sitting business back to her. I will still be doing some filling in, when she's overbooked and stuff, but probably, and I have one client that I pretty much exclusively take care of, the horses, the horse farm. That pretty much seems to be has evolved into my client as opposed to Amanda's client. The rest of all the clients are Amanda's. I just fill in for her. But anyway, she'll be home Thursday, so I will be out of the pet sitting business happily this time. As much as I enjoy doing it, I enjoy helping my niece out with the pet sitting. It's been a pretty stout 6 weeks of it for me. Okay, let's check back. Bonnie comes through with the statement of the year. No Goop for her. I agree wholeheartedly, Bonnie. Neither one of us want any Goop. But anyway, somebody might let us, like Gwyneth Paltrow, and just think that's hunky dory. So Bonnie also says that she never had a hangover, but she gets wicked migraines. That's pretty close. Pretty close. I generally never get a hangover either, which is why I was kind of surprised to wake up this morning thinking, well, what did I do last night? I did nothing. Matter of fact, I was actually in bed reasonably early, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, well, that takes care of the news this morning. We've had a terrific week or 10 days, new subscribers. We're up to 1,696, I believe the number was this morning. So we're probably going to go past the 1,700 subscriber threshold this weekend. If you're new, welcome to all of you. We are here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 6 a.m. for travel and cruise industry news. I also go live when something creeps up that we don't know is going to happen and something big happens, I'll go live again with that and liable to pop up live at any time. So down in the lower right-hand corner where the subscribe button, you might want to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified as soon as I go live, in case you want to jump in and see what in the world is going on that caused me to go live. We also regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you want to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, then my interview shows, which we're starting to get several things scheduled now through that, since I've got the new format in somewhat working order, although I'm never technically totally sound. But anyway, the Chillie chats will be scheduled. So there's another feature on the channel. And of course, the videos, when they get posted, you'll be notified that the new video's up. And we try to get something new up almost every day. Of course, I will be going on two cruises starting February 1st. I'll be gone for 2 weeks. But at this point, I am probably going to take all my stuff with me, my computer and camera and all that business, and attempt to bring you live broadcasts from the ships. We're going to attempt it. May not work, might work, who knows? But we're going to probably try to do live broadcasts. I may not be able to do as much research on stories, but we're going to attempt it from the cruise ships. So that would be kind of cool. And maybe instead of me sitting around with a Bloody Mary in my hand in the hot tub, that I'll be sitting around with a Bloody Mary in my hand in the hot tub on camera. Who knows? So anyway, being a little silly. And you'll also find, folks, if you are new to this channel, welcome aboard. And you'll find at times that I can be a little silly. So that's it for today. I will see you on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. unless something major happens over the weekend, and we'll get on to things right away. And for any of you folks that are fans of the national championship game this weekend, good luck to both sides. Since I'm a Kentucky guy, I don't care who wins. But I'm looking forward to that on Monday night, actually. I will be watching. So anyway, that's it for today. Glad you stopped by. Have a great weekend, folks. And as always, smile a lot and be good to each other.
Thank you for watching today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.